when she called the police on me that day, I ain't never give a fuck from then. Like it was like, it's over with now. My daddy in prison. I done beat my mama ass. Imagine I had on my Looney Tune outfit with my deep wave ponytail, my ridges in the front, with my neck's tail on and my retros. That was also something that was embarrassing for me too, because when I would be at the dance shows, you know, the people who I was in a dance group and stuff with, they'd be like, why you ain't dance? Why? He like, man, I got some shit I gotta do in here, whatever. So he like, somebody in the bathroom? I'm like, no. So I end up letting it go because I just started really realize the type of person you are. You know, a lot of people ain't just gonna sit there and just take accountability for everything. So she like, oh, no, she did not. No, the state don't give her no money for you. I don't know if y'all could see this, but it's like a little cut on my knuckles. I don't know if y'all could see that. Mind y'all, my grandmother, I know my grandma. I was in a car with my grandma. We went to the flea market together. And he was like, this a girl I had to transport the crisis, and I packed up my bags. And now, girl, I'm so glad we got all that goddamn crying out the way. I think we've done with the crying now, y'all. Slow down, everybody relax. Everybody relax. I have been so consistent on my podcast channel, y'all, that I'm down about to hit 40K on the podcast channel. And if I be consistent enough on this channel, I can hit 10K. And then next thing we're going to be 50K on the podcast channel. So be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. As y'all can see, I am currently taking over everyone's YouTube algorithm. And not only am I doing my podcast, y'all know the podcast channel is like my job. But the lifestyle channel is where we really get into me. You know, supposed to be on there, be talking about, oh, she always talk about everybody else's business, but she'll never talk about her business. Like, literally my whole life is on YouTube. Slow down, hoes. Slow down. But seriously, y'all, before we get into part 2, remember I told y'all this is a moo-moo party. So are you wearing your moo-moo? Are you wearing your moo-moo? And y'all gotta stop lying. I don't know if y'all noticed, but I can see who's purchasing. I can see when I make a sale. Like, I get the notification when I make a sale. People be in my comments like, just brought my moo-moo, just brought my moo-moo. No, you didn't. Stop it. To the people that has already purchased, thank you. I hope you wearing your moo-moo. I would like to say that we're going to have us a moo-moo party as I'm telling these stories. So do not forget to purchase. Visit www.tabletotwopodcast.com to purchase your moo-moo, because you want to be sitting in your moo-moo for these stories, girl, because it's about to get good. And please don't force my hand and make me have to throw these episodes inside the members only. Remember, happy hoes ain't hating, and hating hoes ain't happy. I can show that girl some love, just supporting by, you know, purchasing your moo-moo, watching, liking, comment, subscribing, sharing this playlist with somebody you think may be interested in watching it. Now let's get into it. So in part 1, I basically gave y'all the whole rundown of my childhood. I didn't give y'all like the whole rundown, but I told y'all the most of it. I try to sum it up as much as possible so y'all can kind of get an idea of how my childhood was. Now, I left off telling y'all that now my grandma has started to get me Baker-acted. So remember I was telling y'all the story about how when I was in the 6th grade, I had punched the principal in the face and I ended up getting Baker-acted. So I don't know if you guys noticed, but when you have a history of mental illness or like getting Baker-acted, because technically when you get Baker-acted, you have a mental illness. When you have a history of that, that follows you. So anytime I would go to jail or get in trouble, they will always bring up the fact that, you know, I've been Baker-acted, and that was like stayed on my record forever. To the point now, I went to jail in like, I think 2020 or 2022. Y'all probably remember the Storytime. The OG crew members know what Storytime I'm talking about with Red. And when I went to jail, they had put me in a psych ward because I had a history of being Baker-acted, and I was so aggravated because, bitch, I'm not crazy. I just had them spaz out right quick, but I'm not crazy. Like, I know what I'm doing. But yeah, so now, fast forward now, after all that is said and done, my grandma ended up passing away. Now, when my grandma ended up passing away, you know, I'm thinking like, okay, now I don't have to go straight home and watch grandma. I may have a little freedom now. Wrong. My grandma had done started now sending me like my auntie them. Remember I told y'all my auntie them stayed down the street. So my grandma, when she would have to work and go to school and stuff, because she was currently in school getting her master's degree, she would send me to my auntie them house. And when I would go over there, it was like church every girl. We was revival every week. The church was having a revival. Them so the most revivalist people I ever seen in my life. Every week the church was having revivals. So Even though my mom, we had got took from my mom had completely lost custody of us. Like, she didn't go and complete the courses, the things that the judge and the people had put in place for her to try to get her kids back. She failed to complete everything, so she lost complete custody of all her children that she had at the time. And when this happened, my grandma would still allow us to go be with my mama. Even though we wasn't supposed to be with her technically, we would still go be with her summertime, weekends and stuff like that. We would go down south and be with my dad, which I told y'all is actually my stepdad, my mama husband family. Shout out to my family down south, the Snows. So we would go down there and be with them, and it will always be a real good time. Until one day when I was like, I think I was also in the 6th grade. I had to be like in middle school. I go down south. It's the 4th of July. I never forget. It's the 4th of July. My grandma was getting state assistance for us at the time. It was called child care, relative care check. My grandma was getting a relative care check for me, and, you know, little food stamps and little stuff like that, because, you know, I was in her care at the time because of what happened. And when my grandma used to get my little relative care check, she would get my hair done, buy me little J's here and there, not all the time. Here and there, she would buy me little Jordans, get my hair done, or whatever. I remember this one time I had golds. Yeah, I remember well, I'm from Florida, so, you know, having gold teeth is like a real popular thing in Florida. And so I remember I had 4 golds to the bottom. And when I went down south, I had got those 4 golds to the bottom for, I think I had got them for my birthday, because my birthday was in April. I think I had got 4 golds to the bottom for my birthday. And my grandma had got the 4 golds to the bottom for my birthday with my relative care check, right? Because she would always, like, sometimes when she needed to use the check to pay bills or whatever, she would, you know, pay the bills. But any other time, whenever she could squeeze out getting me something, whenever she said she could squeeze out getting me something, she would. So, girl, I go down south this one time, and I don't think my brothers wasn't there. But I go down south. I'm down there at my cousin Twan house down south. Now, the house that I went to was literally on the same street where my sister passed away. Like, they lived on the street, but all the way down the street of the apartments where my sister had passed away. So it was already like bittersweet going down there. But when I would go down south, my family down south, all them was on drugs. Like, everybody, like every adult in the family down there was on powder. No shade. Mind y'all, I love them. Like, I love them. My family down south, like, I love them, like, with all my heart. Like, them is my cousins, my aunties, my uncles. I love them. Not my auntie. My auntie Rhonda ain't no dope. Hold on, not auntie Rhonda. My auntie Rhonda ain't no dope now. She's the only one who level-headed. But, like, my grandma, my daddy, my mama, everybody was on dope. So, when I would go down there, it was, like, kind of like freedom, because all of them was always doped up. So we would be able to go to, like, the jams, be out to the jams 12 o'clock in the morning. We would just be in the middle of the street playing all night, all day. Matter of fact, I think my brother them did go down there with me this 4th of July. I'm lying. They was there too. And we would always do all type of stuff like that. Girl, we would go to the soup kitchen, because we were so poor. We used to go to this place called the soup kitchen. Now, the soup kitchen was for poor people. Like, it was this church. I think it was like a church. There was church people. If y'all know, correct me if I'm wrong. I can't remember, but I can remember. The soup kitchen was like a church. And the church was like, they had like a kitchen. And they would like feed the homeless and feed like unfortunate, less fortunate people. And we would always go eat at the soup kitchen every Saturday morning, Sunday morning after church. Like, every Saturday morning specifically, we would always go to the soup kitchen and eat. It was like that type of vibe. Oh, girl, one 4th of July, we end up going to my cousin Twan house. Now, we get down there to Twan house. Twan was married at the time, but they divorced now. But he was married at the time to, I still call her my cousin. But he was married at the time, but he is actually my family, Twan. And we just over there, you know, it's a regular 4th of July. Barbecue, grills, powder, beers, partying. Everybody just partying, having a good time. Now, my mama was the type that she was like in and out. Like, even though I went down south, it was like I was down south at my family house, supposed to be down south spending time with my mama, but we would never like spend time with my mama because she would always be in the street. So we technically was down there with family. Shout out to my grandma Lynn, God rest her dead, Auntie Rhonda, because I'll just get off the 38 bus and let them know I was down there. And it's like, okay, you down here, but it was like no supervision. Like, even though I was down there, it was like my big cousins, Melvin, Marcus, my big brother Jimmy, all us would all be down there, like, basically damn near feeding ourselves and shit. Now, my grandma Lynn used to feed us and stuff like that, but we was just down there just hanging out, basically, and we was fucking 12 years old, 11, 13, 14 years old. We was literally kids, 10 years old. We was just. But we was all right. We was good. Like, we knew how to bathe ourselves. We knew how to feed ourselves. We knew how to get back to the house. Like, we knew, like, you know, when we was doing too much and when we was doing too little, but we just had a lot of goddamn freedom to be kids, right? So, girl, one 4th of July, I'm over here at Twan house, and Twan wife at the time, my cousin, she got 2 kids from Twan. She used to do hair. And she used to do, I don't know if y'all remember the hairstyle we used to wear, where it's like push this side all the way. Well, they actually brung it back now. Y'all know how they wearing the braids to the side now with the hair? You know, they been used to do that back in the days. You know, that was the style from back in the days. She used to be like the master at that side. But you know, back in the days, now they just doing it regular. But back in the days, you used to be able to get the ridges in the front. Y'all remember the ridges? They used to put the ridges like this in the front and the hair fall down, and then you would have the braids on the side, or it'd be flat like the regular hair on the side. She used to mud that hairstyle. Like, she used to mud that. I don't know why she don't do hair no more. She was like a big boss at the post office now. But anyways, I went down there. I remember I had my hair done. I had my goals in, everything. So I'm just standing there. We listening to music. We just vibing at my cousin's house because it's 4th of July. We partying, whatever. And my cousin come up to me, and she talking to me. She like, oh, Drake, you know, you such a pretty black girl. You know, you were such a pretty black girl, because she would always be like, you a pretty black girl. This is my cousin, wife at the time, but I'm referring to her as my cousin because you know how you just be like your cousin, your family, whatever. You know, black people. Black people. And she was like, Drake, you such a pretty girl, whatever like that. So she asking me about my goals. She like, oh, you got goals now, She like, you got goals? Look at you. Like, you know, she was a adult, but she looking at me like, look at you. Like, you got your goals in, whatever. So my mama been getting drunk and high, coked up. She walks down the street to the store. I think it was L. Lewis store. Was it L. Lewis store? I think that was the name of it. L. Lewis store. Y'all, if you from down south Florida, City, Florida, you know what I'm talking about. She walked down the street to either L. Lewis store. Which store was L. Lewis? L. Lewis store was that one on the corner. Or that Love store. I forgot the brown store, the 2-story. One of them stores, she ended up, because my sister passed away over there, right there by the apartments. It's going to be somebody who watching this, who from Florida City, that know exactly what I'm talking about. Nevertheless, my mama walking in the gate as my cousin, baby mama, talking to me, right? So she like, oh, yo, goes, whatever. So my mama like, yeah, she done sit up there and made me spend all that goddamn money on them goals. Mind y'all, my grandmother, I was in a car with my grandma. We went to the flea market. She done sit up there and make me take her to get them goals or spend all that money on them goals. Mind y'all, my mama is like, the side effect from her doing like drugs is lying. For some reason, her side effect is lying. It's like she cannot stop goddamn lying. Damn. She always lying. Shout out to her today, because she just got her a new place today. She lied about that since January. Remember, she supposed to get a place since January. It is now September, but she got her place now. No shade, everybody relax. She do got her place now. Shout out to her. Shout out to mom for getting her crib. But anyways, my mama is a big ass liar. So when she was saying that, I'm looking at her like, so my cousin, baby mama, she like, oh, Nene, because my mama ain't Nene. She like, oh, Nene, you had, she was like, oh, Nene, you got her some goals? She was like, yep. So me being me, like, I've always been an outspoken child. I know people be hearing me say, I'ma say it because y'all scary and I'm not scary because I can't get no whooping. People think that I be saying it like on some bully shit, but it's a lot of trauma behind it, because I used to get my ass whooped and get punished for saying things that I wanted to say. Mind you, the things used to be right. I didn't used to be just blurting out just anything. I was very wise at a young age, and I was able to see when stuff was not wrong. Like, that's not wrong. That's not right. You don't supposed to do that. You shouldn't do that, right? So lying was not, like, I never was big on lying. You ever met that child that's always telling the truth, even when it's not time to tell the truth? I was kind of like that kid, and I will always get in trouble. But in this instant, like, it's like, girl, you just lying for no goddamn reason. So I'm like, no, you didn't. No, she didn't. Like that. So, my mama looked at me, y'all. I'll never forget this shit. She looked at me, and when I tell y'all, she gave me an evil ass look. Like, she gave me the look from hell. She turned around and she was like, yes, I did. Like, yes, I did. Like, so me as a kid, I told y'all I was always very like, I was like, no, you didn't. Mind y'all, I was not close to my mama. I didn't grow up with my mama. I have not been in my mother care at this point since like 1999. It's 2006 at this point. So like 2006, 2007. No, you didn't. Like, girl, no, you didn't. I don't even know you for real. No, you did not pay for these. Like, no, you didn't. So she was like, we going back. We keep saying, no, you didn't. So my cousin is laughing because they know my mama to be a liar. So my cousin, baby mama, like, Nene, stop lying, girl. Stop damn lying. She like, girl, stop damn lying. Stop damn lying. Like, so my mama getting furious because she getting caught in a lie, as she always do. She turning around. She got a beer bottle in her hand. I'll never forget, natural ice. She got the natural ice in her hand in a brown bag. And she turned around. She looking at me like she wanted to swing on me. Like, she like, and I'm like, no, she did. I'm like, Nana brought me this. Like, this is what I'm saying about my grandma. I'm like, my Nana brought these for me or whatever. She like, oh. She was like, who the fuck you think gave her the money? I said, got the money from my check. Like, she got the money from my check. Mind y'all, my grandma was very open with me about the fact that she was getting relative care assistance for me. And she would let me know, like, okay, when we get it this time, I got to pay this bill. Or when we get it this time, I'll buy you this. Or I'll try to do this. I'll try to do that, right? So she like, oh, no, she did not. No, the state don't give her no money for you. I give them the money for you. But I'm already knowing my mama is a big pathological liar. No, you did not. Long story short, mama hauled off and hit me, girl. I tell y'all, I had to be every bit of 12 years old. I may have been 13, but I know I was 12. I had to be like 12 because I was a little girl. Like, I was young. However old I was, mama hauled off and hit me. Bam! Right there. No, before she hit me, I'm lying. Before she hit me, God bless the dead, my cousin Bernard. I miss him so much. That was one of my favorite. I'm telling y'all, my downside family, that was my favorite cousin Bernard Snow. He ended up taking himself out. But that was my favorite cousin. Like, I remember being young as hell. I was young when he did that shit. He did it behind my grandma's house, which was his auntie. You know how they grabbed the rope and that's what he did to himself behind the house. And I don't even know why he did it or what happened, but I just remember when the police came, Florida City Police, he was just hanging up there and we was looking, and I started boo crying because like I had never seen nothing like that before in my life. And then I remember when they had took him off the thing, we was looking out the back window because it was literally in the back of the house, and then his body was just lifeless and just dropped, and they put the yellow thing over him. But I never forget him. And my cousin, my uncle, them, all of them was out there. They was telling my mama, they was like, Nene, leave that girl alone. Leave that girl alone. I'll never forget. My uncle them was like, go, man, leave the girl alone, man. Leave the girl alone, like that. So my mama just acting like, y'all, mind y'all, she butted into me and my cousin baby mama conversation. This ain't even had nothing to do with mama. She butted into me and my cousin baby mama conversation. So they like, man, don't leave the girl alone, leave the girl. They put like telling her to like leave me alone. But I'm booting up at her at the same time because she acting like she want to hit me. So when I say I'm booting up, I'm like up at her like, if you hit me, I'm going to hit you back. I'm letting you know right now. At this point, I done grew up. I already know, like, I'm growing up now. I done grew up, but at this point, I done had fights after fights. So, girl, I already know, like, I'm getting out there. Like, I know how to fight. So, it's like, if you hit me, I'm telling you now. If I tore that lady up at that schoolhouse and went to jail and got back corrected, I'm going to tear your rump up next. I'm not playing. Mama ended up hauled off and hitting me. Bum. I don't know why she ever did that. I don't know why she ever did that. When I tell y'all, I was out there, like, uppercut and swinging. But to be fair, she was drunk. Like, she was drunk. Like, she was so drunk to the point, like, when I was hitting her, beer was splattering all like over my arm because she still had the beer on her hand the whole time, trying to fight with one hand while I'm hitting her. Beer just splashing everywhere. She's swinging, I'm swinging, but I done grabbed her by her hair. Now she got my hair real tight. Like, she got my hair so tight, like she putting it from the root. I'm got her hair real tight, but I'm uppercut. Mind y'all, I'm this big. I'm this big, this little, but I'm rocking. You feel me? So I'm just uppercutting her. Boom, 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 uppercutting her. She get it. She come up. She got a little knot right here. They push her out the gate. They telling her, like, everybody was fussing at her. They were like, you dead wrong. You dead wrong. Jumping up in that girl face. Da da da. And then my cousin baby mama pushed me in the house. She like, Drika, go in the house. Go in the house, Drika. Go in the house. Go in the house, right? So I go in the house. They push me in the house. So my cousin, the one who lived at the house, he came like, what the hell y'all fighting for? Like, what's going on? So his baby mama was like, no, me and Drika was talking, and niece came over here and butted our conversation, messing with that girl. The girl ain't even say nothing to her. So they had made her leave the house. Like, they told her to leave from the party. They kicked. So she went with my auntie Vicky, who is a habitual smoker too. They went down the street and started getting high and pimping white people. But you know I don't gossip. That gossipy girl, now, you know I don't gossip. I can't tell you what they was down that street doing on that powder and them natural ices, because I don't gossip. So They go down the street. I end up getting a phone call, right? It's my grandma calling me, telling me I gotta come home. My mama done called my grandma and told my grandma that she had to jump on me. She didn't say I told her ass up. She called my grandma and said she had to jump on me for being disrespectful. Girl, you ain't jumped on no guy. You ain't jumped on nobody. Girl. So anyways, nevertheless, that night, it was already too late for me to get on the bus. So I had lied to my grandma and told her the last bus had already ran, which was like the 38 busway max because it was getting late. So she was like, well, tomorrow, you know, get on the bus, come back. So that day I get on the bus, I go back home, whatever. So from there on, my grandma started having talks with me, asking me like, you know, what's going on with you? Like, you seem to change. Remember, I told y'all I hadn't already started shutting down because of what I had experienced with the situation with my mama, which was my great grandma. I hadn't already started like tuning everybody out and shutting everybody out because what I was going through mentally, feeling like I was the reason what happened with grandma. It was hard for me. Even when I would go down south with my mom and them and then come back up to the city, it was hard for me to just adjust back to being back in the house because grandma was gone. I feel like I did it. People always asking me what happened because I'm the one who was in the house with grandma. Keep in mind, I'm just a kid. So I was battling with so much at such a young age to the point where it had started to make me numb. I didn't care. And anytime my grandma would try to argue with me or like bring up something or tell me something I did wrong, I would literally always say, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I would just be like, I don't care. I don't care. So now I'm back in middle school. Let's just say, remember I told you I started dancing for the dance group. My grandma, she ain't invested in the dance group. So now I got kicked out of the dance group. I end up getting kicked out of the dance group because I never had money to be able to pay to get, you know, dressed like everybody else. I would try to go to the mall and steal, but I was always scary as fuck. So that really didn't work out. So I got kicked out of the dance group, but I still would always go to like the dance shows. And that was also something that was embarrassing for me too, because when I would be at the dance shows, you know, the people who I was in a dance group and stuff with, they'd be like, why you ain't dance? Why you ain't dance? And it's like, I can't really tell them that I don't have supportive parents, that my mama is on drugs, my daddy in prison, and my grandma is not supportive of anything that I have interest in. So it was just like, I used to just be making up stuff like, oh, I'm gonna come back, I'm finna come back, They used to be like, oh, why you ain't dance? Why you ain't dance? Why you ain't come out? But I still would go. I don't know if y'all from Miami, y'all remember Joseph Caleb Center. Remember back in the days, like 08, 07, 08, they used to have the dance shows in the Joseph Caleb Center. If you know, you know, Diamond Divas, Black Diamonds, all them, with all that, you know, if you know, you know. So I still would like go to the show, but I could never be a part of it because my grandma didn't show interest in it. So now, you know, I had started getting to a point where I'm like, I don't care. Keep in mind, during the course where all this was happening, I swear to y'all, like I promise to y'all, I didn't really have interest in boys. And when as I grew up, oh Lord, here go the tears again. As I grew up, I really started to realize like, damn, even though, yes, I had a kid at a very young age, and yes, I did start doing and do at a very young age, that was never my initial interest. Like when I'm trying to go to dance groups and stuff like that, it wasn't like I was trying to go out there to see boys. It was always nothing but gay boys and gay girls at the park. If anything, people really thought, like my friends who I grew up with, they thought I was going to be butch queen. They really thought like I was going to be butch queen. Even to the point when they found out I was pregnant, everybody thought I was lying. Like my childhood best friend twin, he got a twin brother. He always be like, dawg, this shit is so funny when I be seeing you like all grown up acting like a girl, because you was literally a little boy. Everybody always used to feel like I was going to be butch queen, girl, because I never really had like this big old interest in boys. Like I never was like, you know how girls at a young age, they be like seeing boys and have a boyfriend. Like, girl, I ain't used to be on the phone with no boys. I used to beat their ass. I really had the desire to be a child. That's why I was telling y'all my biggest thing in life when it comes down to raising kids. I feel like parents should always let their kids be a kid. Like let your kid be what they want to be. Everybody don't want to be football players. Everybody don't want to be a nurse. Some of them kids, them little boys want to be drummers. And they want to be goddamn ballerinas. And they want to be an entomologist. You don't know what these kids want to be, okay? Just everybody don't want to be football. Everybody don't want to be in a church house. No shade. No shade. You know, I love my Lord and Savior, but this is just the truth. And so once I started getting like restrictive all activities, and I see, like I told y'all before, my grandma would hold shit over my head. I get in trouble or get kicked out of the classroom because keep in mind, I'm gaining this I don't care attitude because I can't do nothing. I can't get nothing. My friends, they going to the National Guard. When I go to the National Guard, I gotta try to steal something to go. I can't get me a fresh outfit. Everybody got on the latest J's. My mama on dope. Can't call her to show up and give me some new J's. You know, my grandma ain't really that supportive. She's saying that this government check that she getting ain't really about nothing. But every time she go to the church, every Sunday, she got a fresh haircut. She used to wear shortcut haircuts like Juanita Bynum back in the days. She got her Juanita Bynum look on. Her nails done damn near every time for church. Now, to be fair, some days she didn't have it. She would do her own nails. I'm not here to bash her at all because I know her friends be watching. To be fair, she did used to have to paint her own little nails here and there, but when she did get her a little coin, she made sure she was getting her services, you feel me? So I had really like developed this like, girl, I don't even care no more. Like, I don't care. So one day, me and my grandma in the kitchen, and I was talking on the phone with my friend. I don't know who it was. I think I was talking on the phone with Lamont, and we was just talking about like regular stuff that's going on, like school stuff. Because the one that was remember I told y'all about my other childhood best friend. We shared the same birthday. They lived in the back of us for a little while. They was from the city, like, but they had moved like in the back of us. So we was on the phone just talking, chit chatting or whatever like that. I used to go to his house to get on the computer to do my MySpace pages, and we didn't have a computer, couldn't get on MySpace, ain't have a phone. Like, girl, it was just like hell damn near. You couldn't do nothing. I couldn't do nothing but go to church. That's it. I couldn't do nothing but go to church. So one day, my grandma asked me to wash the dishes, and no, boom, bingo, this what happened. I had a fight at school. I got in trouble. So when I had, what happened was my brother, y'all know my Irish twin brother, he had got into it with this fat girl at the schoolhouse. We was going to Madison Middle School. He had got into it with this fat girl at the schoolhouse. Now he had called me. I guess the girl was like a big fat girl. I still remember her name and everything. I don't want to fuck with nobody, but you know, I don't want no problems with nobody, girl. But he called me out of my class to come fight the girl. Now, mind you, he called me like, because the girl was like, she always used to mess with him or whatever. But I think this day she had punched him or something. Something happened because my brother was crying. That's what made me mad. He was crying and he was trying to figure out what class I was in to come fight this girl. So he finally found my class. I came out the door. I'm like, what happened? And he like, ooh, I swear to God. Like, you know, like that. Like, so I'm like, slow down, everybody. What's going on? So I leave out my class to go to their building, and I walked in the class. I didn't say nothing to this girl. Like, I swear my right hand to God, I'm not acting like I'm no big bad bitch, but I be so happy when I see people I went to school with and people that can like confirm my stories, because this is a actual true story. I walked inside their class. They had slow classes. So they was in this building called the Stars building. They had slow classes. I walked inside the class. That hoe wasn't slow though. She wasn't that motherfucking slow. You ain't that slow to be hitting on my motherfucking brother. Ho, this not that. And by this time, I already know I know how to fight. I done ran through a couple of hoes, bitch. I done beat my mama, baby. I'm going toe to toe with anybody. He tell me who it was. I already knew who it was because he had already complained to her at the house before, like saying like she was aggravating and stuff like that. So I already knew who it was. I go inside the portable. We go inside the portable. I open the door. She's standing right there. Like, she's standing right there waiting for me. I walked in the class, ran up, bop, 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 smashed her head on the board, you know, it was like the chalkboard, beating her head on the chalkboard, swinging the tables around, everybody like, ooh, 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 like that. You know, my brother, ooh, ooh, like, you know, my brother selling out, yeah, my sister beat you. You know, the class I was in, it wasn't even my class, so the teacher didn't even know me. Like, the teacher literally didn't know me because I didn't have, like, classes in the Stars building. So, you know, the teacher pushing me out of class, they calling for the security, the teacher ringing the dumb thing, calling the security. I'm just boop, 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 boop. Mind you, this girl was big. She was a big girl, but she was like out of breath type of big. Like, she couldn't really go. She got a couple of swings in, and then it was like after that, like trying to catch my breath type of vibe. So I'm tearing her rump up. Boop, 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 boop. Me and my brother get pushed out of class. My brother said, "Now, oh, I told you my sister would go beat you. I told you my sister would beat you. I told you my sister would go beat you. Tough ass hoe." Like, just going off, girl. So, of course, the security came. Mr. Walker, if you from Madison, you already know. Mr. Walker, bald head ass, came. The police came all day. I didn't go to jail this time. Thank God, girl. God damn, I got so tired of going to jail. But I did get suspended. So, you know, my grandma had to come pick me up. To be fair, she was aggravated with me, girl. Like, it's always something going on with you. Like, you just aggravated. Like, you feel me? And at this time, I couldn't really explain, like I said, the things that I was dealing with internally, because my grandma never made a safe space for me to be able to talk and say This is what I'm dealing with. This is how I feel. I ain't grow up in the house with the I love yous and stuff like that. Like, me and Pulu and Jimmy, we talk so much, like, it's just random. Jimmy and Pulu, they call me every day randomly throughout the day. I'm surprised they don't call me now. It's 7:49 at night. They'll just call me, be like, what you doing? What you got? Jimmy will just FaceTime, what you got going on? What you doing? And just, you know, we get a little gossip, girl. You know, we get into a little gossip. Then, you know, Pulu, he get mad at that daddy, girl. He called me and we do a little gossip. You know, we don't talk about nobody, but, you know, we get mad at that daddy. He'll call me, this man doing this. So, you know, we get into a little gossip. But I always wanted to make a safe space for them to be able to talk to me. Like, I ask questions. You okay? I reassure them that I love them. Even though they big kids, I be still pinching them like, I love you. Give me a hug before you leave. I love you. You know, stuff like that. We talk. I go sit and I talk to them and I ask questions. They be like, bro, why you asking them questions? I'm just asking, bro. I'm just asking. I just want to know. But I always show interest in the things that they show interest in. You know, like, I always aspire to be that type of parent. So my grandma was never that to me. It was never everything was always so closed off. Everything was always church. Everything was God gonna deal with it. Pray to God. Anytime I would try to say something about something, pray to God. And another thing about my grandma too, she is very, very judgmental. Very judgmental. Like, I could go to this lady and be like, oh, I talked to somebody. I'm going on a date with somebody. And she'll be like, oh, let me see who you're going on a date with just in case something happened, right? You'll show her, oh, you got to talk. It'll be, say it's a white man. What you doing with a white man? Or say it's a dark-skinned boy. Oh, he all right looking, but why he ain't got why he got that type of haircut? Why? It's like she has to find a flaw in everything instead of just saying, okay, that's him. Well, okay, he a nice person. Like, you know what I'm saying? Only person she really like is Pulu Daddy. But everybody else is like, she have to find, if y'all know goals is a big thing in Miami. So she'll be like, oh, well, why he got goals in his mouth? What he wearing goals for? You need to get you somebody that look clean. You could do better than that. You could get you somebody, and then I come with somebody that do look clean, and then she be like, well, he look a little funny. Like, I don't know, Drika. He look like he kind of funny. Okay, well, that's just your choice. It's like, girl, you ain't even trying to say, well, what you like about him. Like, okay, why you like him? What you like about him? Where y'all, like, and then we is going somewhere. Y'all bringing me something back. Like, it's not a place where you could be safe. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not a space where you could go and you could have that chit chat, girls talking. Girl, you know child, you know he da-da-da. Like, you know, get a little gossip in. The older I got, I tried to get that way with her, but it don't really work. But when I was younger, it definitely was not like that. So I didn't find ways where when she would ask me questions, I would always just be like, I don't know. I don't care. I don't know and I don't care. So one day, that night when I got suspended, I'm in the kitchen and she come home from work and she like, cause at this time my grandma had passed away. So it just was really me, her, and my uncle. Remember my uncle said, you talk about my mama in the house. And she came, my auntie, her daughter had moved out the house or whatever. And she came and I was, she had told me to wash the dishes. She was like, oh, Drika, I don't understand why those dishes not washed, whatever. So I go in there, I start washing the dishes. Now I got a cut on my hand. I don't know if y'all can see this, but I had this ever since I fought that girl because from punching a girl in the mouth. I don't know if y'all can see this, but it's like a little cut on my knuckles. I don't know if y'all can see that, but I literally have had this. It was like the girl teeth mark. The girl who I fought when my brother came and got me. I punched her so hard in the mouth, like I had her teeth mark in my mouth ever since, and it's still there. And so when I was washing the dishes, like I guess she felt like I was half washing the dishes because I was rushing the dishes, but I really was rushing the dishes fast because my hand was burning because I had water, soap, and stuff, and the cut was freshly open. My hand was burning, so it's like I was trying to hurry up and wash the dishes, but I can't really wash them like that because my hand is burning. Mind y'all, this is small at the time, but right now, but at the time, you know, it was an open wound, so my hand burning. So I'm trying to tell her, like, you know, my hand burning. She like, oh, well, if you was doing things you had no business doing, da-da-da, whatever. So I'm like, well, like, I'm telling her, like, now I'm getting rebellious because it's like, girl, every single thing is always something with this lady. To the point, I'm an adult and it's still always something with this lady. So even though at the time I was a child, I do acknowledge that, you know, it was a lot of things that I was wrong and shouldn't been doing shit when I was a child. But I also feel like no one tried to understand why I was feeling the way I was feeling. Let me tell you something. Kids don't just act out. Kids are feeling a way for a reason. They don't just act out. There's something going on with children that you have to get down to the bottom of it. I just watched a story time. I don't know if y'all seen this. It was like I don't know if she's Spanish or what, or mixed. Skinny, slim girl. She did a story time of how her uncle boyfriend SA'd her. She had on the lashes. I don't know if y'all seen it on TikTok, but I ran across a story. She did like part 1 and part 2. She was talking about how she used to like, her mom was on dope. The auntie came and got them out the hotel room and they went to live, and she looked at the auntie boyfriend like a father figure. And then one day he stuck his fingers out of it, whatever. I don't know if y'all seen the story times or whatever, but she was saying how when she acted out, like she already was feeling some type of way with her mom, but she said once she got like to the point where with her auntie and the man started SAing her and stuff, after she had opened up and put her trust in him and looked at him like a dad because they was doing whatever for her, she was like, she just completely shut down. And the way she was able to express herself was by cutting herself. And I promise y'all, I feel that shit wholeheartedly. I feel that shit. I didn't cut myself, but what I was doing was tattooing all the time. If y'all notice, a lot of the tattoos I got, like this one, I got them when I was young. I was tattooing myself all the time, like all the time. And I didn't realize until I got older that doing all that was, you know, me trying to hide and cover up pain. Like me putting all them tattoos and stuff on my body, that was pain. Like I was trying to cover up the pain that I was feeling inside, the ugliness, the guilt. So the tattoo needles was making me feel like, because I was taking so much pain, it was like I don't know how to explain it, but it was just making me feel so renewed and like so different. But I would tattoo. I got a lot of tattoos, even though I'm dark skin. I got a lot of tattoos everywhere, and I would just sit there and just always get tattoos. Like I was saying, I didn't have a safe space where I'm able to tell my grandma like I'm acting out because of this. I keep getting in trouble because of this. I'm going to fight everybody because of this. Because sometimes I would go fight and stuff like that just to get away from school or just to have a little bit of free time. Like, you know, sometimes I would just be fighting just because I naturally just didn't care no more. Like I didn't care. I already had seen myself as ugly. I already had seen myself as unworthy. I already seen myself as a person that could not do activities. I couldn't do nothing. What else is there left to do? Why do I care about anything else? Why do I care? And that's why I'm the type of parent I am, because I never want my children to feel like that. Never. So if you watching this, I hope, you know, it's a good deep story, but I hope you really getting revelation out of this story, moms and dads. I hope y'all getting revelation out of this story. So we end up getting into a heated ass argument in the kitchen because I'm telling y'all, I hadn't got so rebellious. You know, they call it grown, but I hadn't got so rebellious because I just did not care. Like, I saw myself as so ugly. I saw myself as unworthy. I can't do this. I can't do that. So fuck it, girl. Girl, we could go at it, because this the only thing I feel like I am good at is fighting. The only thing I feel like I am good at is being evil. The only thing I feel like I am good at is being mean. Like, you know, it's this tough girl. The tough girl act was the only thing that I felt like I could be good at, because I had an attitude problem. I could fight. Not that's the only thing I feel like I'm being good at. So now I'm going there with anybody. I done already beat that lady at the school. I done beat them hoes at the school. I done beat my mammy. Nana, you better slow down for you dang flip, girl, because I was on whatever. But Nana is Miss God-fearing. She wasn't on that putting her hands and fighting and getting out there squabbling and all that. She wasn't on that. Mama gets on the phone and calls 911. I'll never forget this day, because I remember I slammed the dishes down in the sink and I just said, F it. Like, I was just like, F it, I ain't washing nothing. You wash them like that. So I guess the way I reacted, it scared my grandma so bad till she had called the police on me. She called the police. I'll never forget, the radio was playing. I remember all this stuff. The radio was playing AM 1490. They was like, this is AM 1490. The radio just spinning. We in there bickering. Radio spinning, this is AM 1490. WMB. And we just in there bickering. But I did not care, because I just didn't care no more. She called the police. I hear her on the phone with the police in the living room. She got her hand on her hip. She like, yes, oh, my granddaughter, she has a history of mental illness. She's been Baker-acted several times, That's what she's telling the people. So I'm sitting in the room. I'm sitting on the edge of the bed. And I'm listening to her talk to the people, because I got the room door open. So I slammed the room door, closed the door, like, I don't care, like, you know, because at this point, I'm just a rebellious ass kid. I don't care. Keep in mind, I'm only in middle school. I'm like, I don't care. Boom, slam the door. I'm sitting there, whatever. My grandma called me. I mean, my grandma called the police. The police come. I never forget this police officer, Gene Paul. I love him so much. He a Metro Dade police officer. I don't know if y'all know him. Older Haitian dude. He a real nice man. Real nice man. So I remember I seen him when I was older, when I started working at the post office. I seen him in Popeye's girl over there on 7th Avenue and 119th. And he was like, oh my God, he was so proud of me. He gave me a big old hug, and he was telling his partner like about me. And he was like, this a girl I had to transport the crisis and stuff like that. He was like, man, I'm proud of you. And he said, Glass, he was like, you about to make me cry. But Officer Gene Paul, I never forget him. But he came in, he was being so nice to me. He was like, what's wrong? What's wrong? It was something that simple. My grandma was never like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? He came up to me and he was like, what's wrong? What's wrong? And I was like, ain't nothing wrong. I'm still playing. I'm like, ain't nothing wrong. I don't care. Just take me wherever I gotta go. So he was like, you want to leave? You want to go? So he was like, you know, if you go, you're going to have to go to, you know, the crazy house or whatever. I was like, I don't care anywhere than being in this house. Whole time in my mind, I'm really hurting and in pain because, bitch, I don't want to go to the damn crazy house. That shit cold as fuck. The food nasty. I'm finna sit in there looking at the walls. I can't talk to nobody. I'm going to be in there for 3 days. Everybody going to be looking for me. Like, I don't want to go to the crazy house. So, you know, she said that she called the police, whatever. He told me, he was like, pack a bag. You know, she's talking to the police, talking in her proper voice. Oh, she has a history of this and history of that. And, oh, girl, and all this. So I packed me a book bag, packed me some stuff in the book bag, get in a car. I go get Baker acted, gotta stay there for 72 hours because, you know, once they write you up, you get Baker acted. He wrote the report up or whatever like that. You know what happened, something was going on in the house. As we was going down there, he was talking to me. He was like, do you pray? Yeah, he was like, you know, you gotta be respectful. And I'm trying to tell him, I'm like, man, my grandma don't care. She just be this and that. Like, you know, I'm just being a regular kid. He like, yeah, but you gotta respect your parents, man, because if not, you're gonna be headed for destruction. He was having that talk with me. And I'm just in a car ride and in the handcuffs looking out the window. I don't give a fuck. I'm ugly. I can't do shit. I don't care. This was literally how I was feeling. So we talking. We get to talking back and forth or whatever. I end up going to the great crazy house. Do y'all know? I know a lot of y'all already know this story or whatever. I don't know if y'all know this story, but y'all know the story about the childhood with grandma and stuff like that from my Table for Two podcast channel that went viral. Do y'all know my grandma saw that story? I don't know. She's an avid YouTube watcher, but she don't really watch the content I put out. She usually watch like home makeover videos and stuff like that. But she got her favorites that she watching, Prophets and Celestial and all them people. She got the people, but some way, somehow, she watched the video. I think somebody sent it to her because I know a couple of her friends be watching me from TikTok and stuff like that because I'm famous, actually. So she watched the video. And do y'all know she remembers the day that happened? She remembers the argument. She remembers calling the police, but she don't remember me going to the crazy house. And when I tell y'all, that shit hurt my goddamn feelings. Like, this was recently when I was living. Y'all know I was just living at my grandma's house when I lost everything. I had to go back and live there for over a year. And we talked about it, and she asked, we was having a conversation. She was like, well, you know, I know that you were saying that you put that story, that stuff all over I know you said you was on there telling your stories, but you know, I didn't know that you was going to be involved and, you know, other people, like, you know, basically involving her and stuff like that. Because my grandma is real big on image and how she looked and the way, you know, keeping the family image and stuff like that. My grandma is that type of person. So I'm telling her, I'm like, yeah, I remember, this is my trauma. This is my pain. Nobody could ever make me forget what I was the one that sat inside the crazy house. I know what happened. Keep in mind, I was a minor when this happened. My grandma said in my face, and it's no shade to her because we don't have no insides or nothing like that. I'm just telling my story. This lady sat in my face and said, yeah, I remember when we was, the thing that happened. I'm telling her, I'm like, we was in the kitchen arguing. She like, yes, I remember that. And I said, you called the police? She said, yes, I remember that. I said, the man came. I know who the police was. I seen a man one day because the people across on the side of us, the police always come to their house. They some Haitian people because they always over there arguing by my grandma's house. So that officer, I also seen him one day over there, and then I seen him in Popeyes in my uniform. I was going to get the chicken for the kids at Pulu basketball game. I remember. Ain't nobody. That's why I get into it with men so much, because you cannot, I'm not a person you can psych out. I remember. And the reason I remember so much is because I don't lie. I live in my truth. I don't lie so much. I tell a little white lie, but I don't lie so much to where I can't remember what the hell. No, I remember that happened. So she like, yes, the police came. I said, yeah, the Haitian man came. She like, yeah. I'm like, we having this adult conversation. And I'm like, he made me pack my bag. She like, yes, I remember he took you. She say, but I thought he took you that. I said, yes, and he took me. And she like, no, because I remember. She like, I thought that man drove off with you that way. So I posed the question to her. I said, well, where did he took me? She said, well, I don't know where he took you, but I don't never remember you going to the crazy house, the psych ward or whatever. How? And then I'm telling her, make it make sense. I was a minor. That was my washing machine. Sorry, y'all. I'm washing and drying clothes. That was my dryer. I was a minor when this happened. I was a minor. I know where this man took. Where was he gonna take me? He couldn't just take me on the goddamn street. Where the hell he was gonna take me? Once he got that car, I had to get locked up. What are you talking about? So nevertheless, I went to the damn crazy house. I remember this was probably like maybe like my third time going to the crazy house, because I went in my whole entire lifetime maybe 5 times. I think I went to got Baker acted probably like 5 times in my entire life. So, you know, I was like, I know where I went, and we end up having an argument about this. I end up letting it go because I just started really realize the type of person you are. You know, a lot of people ain't just gonna sit there and just take accountability for everything. But I remember she said it didn't happen. I said it did happen, right? So when this lady had called and got me Baker acted, it was different from any other time when I had got Baker acted, because any other time I had got Baker acted, it was because, bitch, I caused the shit on myself. You feel me? I was doing bad shit. Like, I was being bad. I was fighting. I'm punching police off, punching police windows out, punching principals and shit like this. But this day when she called the police on me, it was different, because not only am I already going through this shit feeling like I killed grandma, I'm already a young teenager that can't do shit. Like, you feel me? I can't do shit, and you blaming everything on the fact that you work for DCF and you scared of this and you scared of that. I understand, but at the same time, you living by the Bible and saying that you're not supposed to live in fear and this and that, when you really could have just built a relationship with me instead of your friends that you were just so crazy about going to church and they kids. You could have really just built a relationship with me, and that way, like, I feel like things would have been different and things would have been better. So when she called the police on me that day, I ain't never give a fuck from then. Like, it was like, it's over with now. My daddy in prison. I done beat my mama ass. My grandma called the police on me. So it's like, when she called the police on me that day, that was it. Like, everything, the little ounce of me caring, little girl with the A1A report card, little Drika that was a safety patrol, little Miss Honor Roll, little Drika that loved science and doing science experiments, and little Drika that was, you know, always smart and ahead of the class, that shit went out the window. I did not care no more. And I remember when I was sitting in the psych ward, I'm just like, damn. I just keep replaying her standing in the living room with her hand on her hip on the phone. I remember it was a white cordless house phone. When the cordless house phones had came out, it's a white cordless house phone. She on the phone. And I just like, this lady just called the police on me. Like, she just called the police. That shit different. It's not the same type of when a bitch on the street is calling the police on you. When she called the police on me, I feel like from that day on, my I don't care had now skyrocketed. Like, I didn't give a damn about nothing. So now I get out of jail, it's on and popping. Nah, she can't even say nothing to me no more without me looking at her like she trying to be cool with me. She trying to be friends with me. She trying to get me to go to church or whatever. Nah, I don't want to go to church. Now I don't want to do nothing. Nah, she taking me to church. New Birth on 135th and 22nd Avenue on the corner. Had a bus stop right outside. The 17 bus used to come on 22nd and used to turn off and go right on 17. Every time we would get to church, oh, you got to go to church, because I didn't want to go to church. And I used to be like, I don't want to go to church. I'm not going to church, because now when I go to church, I got all your friends in my face asking me, well, what's going on? I know you done set up there and told them I done went to the crazy house for the 25th goddamn time. They sit in my goddamn face telling me, you shouldn't be doing this and you shouldn't be doing that. Instead of talking to their goddamn friend, asking their friend what she doing as a parent. Not trying to blame everything on her. I understand as a kid that I was doing some things that I shouldn't been doing, but still at the same time, don't be all up in my face trying to preach the gospel when you hoes sit at Jimmy's and sit and hoot and holler and gossip all goddamn day at the original pancake house and all of that at breakfast. No ma'am. No ma'am. And I didn't want to hear that. So she would, like, my grandma had got to a point where She would make me get up and put on clothes and go to church. And she would like, well, if you don't get up, I'm finna lock you out the house, whatever. So I would get up and go to church. And then I got to a point where I started getting on the bus. I would leave out the church and go get on the bus stop. She would get up, come out of church looking for me and stuff like that. I ain't had no phone. So she would just be sitting out there at church, her and my cousin, them looking for me. And I was gone. I was already on the bus gone. I'd be going to the city. I used to put on some jeans and a shirt, get on the bus, go to the city. I had my own dollar in my pocket, my own $1.25. I'd catch the bus and be in the Poker Beans, girl. See you tonight sometime when I get back to the house. Because it was like at that point, I really didn't care no more. Like, girl, I didn't care. So I feel like it was at these times when I started having interest in boys. Because now I'm put in an environment where it's nothing but guns, drugs, boys, girls, party. Now I'm in that city lifestyle. So it's like, now I started hanging out at my grandma's house. Now, y'all know my grandma, I'm named after my mama, my maternal grandmother. So I started hanging out at my best friend's house. But then, you know, now I started getting back closer to, because for a while I wasn't really around my grandma because my mama with her messy rump, my mama and her mama got into some type of heated argument where, because my brother them used to live with that grandma and I was with my grandma at first. And my mama ended up calling DCF saying my grandma was abusing them, whatever. So they ended up getting taken from over there. Nevertheless, I started back when I was in the projects, because my grandma, my mama them is from the projects. I started hanging out at my childhood best friend Twin house. Now, when I would hang out at Twin them house, Twin and mama was funny. They mama, which I love their mama to death. They mama had a house in the projects, a hood house, but they little grown rums. They were like 13, 14. Twin always, because he cooked, he a chef now. He always knew how to cook. He used to cook for us. They used to be like, the other twin used to be smoking black and miles, girl. They was just young and wild, but they always like respected their mama and stuff. Their mama always took care of them. They respected their mama and stuff like that. But their mama had a man and she had 2 very young kids from this older man. So she used to barely be at the house. So we just used to chill at Twinham house. Now we was at Twinham house. It wasn't a house where like, they would have all type of boys over there, like boys be running in and out and stuff like that. It really was just like a friend hangout house. Like all us would hang out there, but then when it comes to like boys and stuff being over there and stuff like that, Twin used to be like, my mama coming, y'all gotta, y'all ain't finna do all that over here. It was that type of vibe. But if you was a friend, you could come hang out over there. So I would always hang out over there, till Twin and mama started catching on, because Twin and mama went to school with my daddy, which is my grandma, my nana, son. So, she would start saying, call your grandma, because why you keep every time, like, you know, she started saying, you over here too much, and I know your grandma, I know them Christian people ain't just letting you be over here like that. Call your grandma. So of course I didn't want to call my grandma, because I never really wanted my grandma to tell her like, oh, you know, she ain't supposed to be over there, whatever, say whatever she was gonna say. So it got to a point where I stopped really hanging out at Twin house so much, especially when their mama would be there. I would just not go hang on 71st and 15th at my maternal grandmother house, which was like on the harder. Y'all ever heard the rappers saying Poker Bean Projects 15 Ave, like, you know, like the ghetto with Trina and Trick Daddy and all them talking about the Poker Beans and all that. Like that's where my grandma them used to live. My grandma was from the projects, but she had moved on 71st and 15th, like on the corner of 71st and 15th, across the street from Miracles. So now I'm hanging out at my grandma's house all the time. I'm always at my grandma's house, to the point where one day I finally just, during the summertime, school ended, we leading into the summertime, I finally just packed my bags, girl. I packed up my bags, and now I done started going to the city, hanging at my grandma's house. Now, when I get to my grandma's house wasn't like, she wouldn't let boys inside the house and stuff like that. It wasn't that, but she would let me get my little freedom. Like every time she would get her check on the first, she would take me to the flea market to get my hair done. She would like, y'all remember when they had the church phone, the Nextel church phones? She had brought me one. It was the one that light up. It was like, had a clear case, and when somebody would call, it would light up and you could do the chirp. I had like the real raw one. So, you know, at this point, I'm feeling like I'm that girl. Every time on the first of the month comes, so that means 4th of July come, I done got the latest J's on the 4th of July. You know, my grandma started buying me little baby fat outfits out the flea market, Pepe Jean outfits, Looney Tune outfits out the flea market. Girl, you know, I'm just feeling like, girl, I'm getting my deep wave ponytails, girl. I'm just feeling like Miss Girl. Like, I'm just feeling like that girl, because at that time, you know, if you had a Pepe Jean outfit, a deep wave ponytail with some retros on, and a next tail, tell me who wasn't that. Tell me who wasn't that girl. Imagine you had on your Looney Tune outfit, and I was young. So imagine I had on my Looney Tune outfit with my deep wave ponytail, my ridges in the front, with my next tail on, and my retros. That was the shit. I know Miami is like all about fashion. So girl, you know that girl, mama was the shit, girl. So I'm feeling myself. I'm feeling cute. I'm not really feeling grown per se, but I'm feeling cute. Now I'm liking boys. I started to like boys, right? I end up running into my grandma in the building on 71st and 15th. There was this guy over there, and I don't want to say his name because I want to be respectful to his family. I don't know who, girl. You know I'm famous, girls. I don't know who. But he used to serve over there on 71st and 15th. And how I had found out how I knew he used to serve is because back then, see now in Florida, I think in Florida, period, crates are banned. I don't know if y'all know what crate. I don't even think they make crates no more, huh? But crates are banned. But the D-boys, the boys who had the sack, they used to sit on crates in the projects or in the buildings, wherever they used to sell it, they used to sit on crates. And that's how the smokers would know that they got sack, because sack is dope. That's because they would sit on the crates. So it was this one dude, tall, slim. He wasn't really built, girl. Tall, because I'm short. He was tall, sitting at about 5'5", caramel skin. I'm just playing, girl. He was taller than me, but he was like a young dude, because I think he died when he was like in his early 20s, but used to be so fresh. When I tell y'all, this man used to have every Jordan that used to come out, so like every Jordan, and like, you know, he used to be so fresh, and he used to drive this car called a Crown Vic. Now, Crown Vic back in these days was like a D-boy car. Like, girl, this is the girl, Miss Crown Vic. Miss Crown Vic. Girl, Miss Crown Vic was like a D-boy car back in the day, so that was like, you know, he had tents or whatever. Now, my grandma used to like, I don't know what type of relationship him and my grandma had. I don't know if my grandma knew his mama or his people. I think my grandma knew his grandma, or grew up with his grandma or something like that. But my grandma used to love him, and he used to love my grandma to the point he would do anything for my grandma. Like, my grandma lights would never go off because he would pay the lights. But my grandma also would let him come inside the apartment and cut up rocks, like cut up rocks and bag up rocks and stuff like that. You know, of course, me and my auntie, we would be in a room and stuff. My grandma would let him come over there and do that. So, you know, as I'm younger, I see him over there all the time. He coming through with the beat out and the Crown Vic. You know, it's like a 3-story apartment building, so every day is something going on. You might got the first floor full of the D-boys standing outside. Somebody come through swinging the AK-47, hitting the building up some nights. Second floor, you got the girl up there in the corner. I don't want to say her name either, but she was crazy. She up there beating her baby daddy. Then you got the girl on top of my on the third floor, like 3 floors. I mean, not the second floor on top of my grandma, but my grandma was on the second floor, so yeah, they was on top of my grandma. Her baby daddy used to fight. She coming through every day with black eyes. I know her son, because she had a boy and a girl for that man. He used to be up all the time, and he was real fine, girl. He was real fine. He used to have these big chains all the time come through. I wonder what happened to them. They probably done got old now, probably done grayed up and everything, but she used to always have black eyes. I remember she was pregnant. She had a boy and a girl, and she was pregnant, but her kids should be all in their 20s. She should be a grandma by now. But nevertheless, you know, we vibing in the building all the time, whatever. So I started to see this one D-boy that used to be over there, right? So one day it was this man named, if you're from the city, you know Booty Red. It's this man named Booty Red. Red is like an OG from out the city. He crazy, Red crazy, but I still see him now, but he just look red aloft, but real tatted up crazy dude, real cool, real respected in Liberty City. One day, he was just running from the police, and the police ended up beating him. Like, they beat him to sleep in the back of the building. Mind y'all, me and my grandma, we is looking outside the window, because we was in apartment buildings, but the apartment buildings, you know, by the stove and stuff, it had windows. You could lift up the window. You know, it's the hood, it's the projects. You could lift up the window, you could look outside the building. So right in the back of the building, my auntie was in the bathroom with the window up looking, like, we'll see what was going on, because everybody was screaming. The police was pushing everybody back. They like, yo. They screaming, the police telling everybody to get back. They beating him to sleep, to the point they handcuffed him. They had to pick him up, like his head up, because he was like beat to sleep, and push him in the police car. I heard he had got a big ass lawsuit from that. Won a big ass lawsuit from that. There's no shade, but girl, he's still in the city asking a bitch for $5 now. So this was way back in the day. So I don't know how that went. But I remember that night, old boy Boo had came upstairs and was like trying to hide some stuff, some second stuff in my grandma's house because the police was so hot because of everything. It was like swarming apartment building. Red at the time was serving too. I think he was serving. I don't want to put no allegations on nobody. I think he was serving at the time too. So like Boo had ran in the house to put his little work up. Like, you feel me? He was like, let me put this up, whatever. So I remember when he came in the house, my grandma had ended up going downstairs because everybody was downstairs in the parking lot of the apartment building. Because how the apartment building is, it's a 3-story building, but it's like a project building, like 3-story building full of kids and trash everywhere. It's the projects, but you could drive in, and around here, like kids used to play down here. They still do, but it's actually a parking lot. But kids use that spot to play, and they use that spot to serve, whatever like that, with the kids and everything. It's a project, girl. And my grandma was in the house, and I was in the room. So I remember he had came in the room. This is the first time me and him ever had locked eyes. He had came in the room and tapped on the door. So I'm on the Nextel phone because I think I was talking to Twin because I was trying to go to Twin house or something like that. He had came in the room and knocked on the door. Oh, before this, I had another boyfriend too. Damn, I skipped that story. I gotta tell y'all that story. Damn, that's a lot of goddamn stories I gotta tell y'all. Shit. But anyways, he ended up coming in the room and he tapped on the door like this. So I looked back and he like, what you doing in here? And I was like, nothing. Whatever. He was like, oh, what auntie? I'm saying my grandma's name. He was like, oh, what auntie did? And I was like, I don't know. I think she went outside or whatever like that. So I'm looking out the window. I was like, oh, she downstairs. She right there. He like, oh, okay, whatever. He like, man, I got some shit I got to do in here, whatever. So he like, somebody in the bathroom? I'm like, no. So he go in the bathroom, close the door. He go in there, he pee or whatever like that. I come back out the room. I'm standing in the living room. And as I'm standing in the living room, he walked by like he was about to get ready to leave. But he bumped me like this, like messing with me, like bumped me. Keep in mind, I'm a little ass girl at this time. He got to be every bit of 20 or something like that. The men's be preying on them girls. The men's be preying on them girls. That's why you got to keep an eye. That's why you got to have a relationship with them girls so your daughter can tell you, he bumped me once, so you could know, oh, that bitch preying on my daughter. Like, you feel me? That's why you got to have that relationship with your daughter. But he came in the living room and he bumped me. So when he bumped me, I pushed him like, what you bump me for like that? Like, I pushed him, whatever like that. He like, right now, don't make me F you up. Like, don't make me F you up like that. So he leave out. So for some strange reason, girl, now I'm just like, it just like started, I'm like, do he like me? Like, I'm a little slow back then. But I'm like, do he like me or whatever? Do he like me? Now, at the time, I had this boyfriend in the projects, right? Remember I told y'all, if you're an OG to the channel, remember I told y'all about the dude that think he Poodle Daddy, that be like trying to say he Poodle Daddy? At the time, I had a little boyfriend in the projects. Now, I forgot to tell y'all how I met old boy in the projects, but I'm going to end up telling y'all how I met old boy in the projects. After this day with old boy bumping me,